All right, looks like we are live. What's going on YouTube? It's Andy the ParrotHead Picker, and with me today is Shane from Rise and Grind Picks. You guys probably know us from the Reseller Six-Pack Show. We each have our own channels. But anyway, Shane and I were talking here yesterday. We were out thrifting together. We live a couple hours apart from one another. And anyway, we were out thrifting. And I'd found a couple things that I know Shane has a specialty on, and Shane had found a couple things that he knows I have a specialty on, and we were messaging each other back and forth, and we're like going, hey, you know what, why don't we do a live clothing haul? Just show some of the things we picked up this weekend and what have you, and just kind of share them with y'all. So you guys pop it in the chat and stuff like that. You know, feel free to ask us questions or whatever, and we're going to share some of the things we picked up here this weekend. I think Shane's got quite a bit more than I do. I've been trying to be a little picky lately, but you know, anyway, we already got Red Neckerson's resales in the chat. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Shane, you got anything you want to throw in here before we jump into this?
Really all I have to throw in is, I mean, for those of you that don't know who I am, I mean, I'm Shane, Rise and Grind Picker, and so what I deal in is I specialize like in vintage clothing, and that's really my specialty. I sell just about everything, but vintage clothing is like my go-to thing. So I guess we could start it off, Andy. If whoever you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. Since I know you got a few more things than I do. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, like you said, you know, I mean, you know, you specialize in the vintage stuff, and that was kind of the one thing. You know, I'm definitely starting to dabble a little more into the vintage clothes, and you know, you're my kind of go-to expert on that. So I found a couple things, and you know, I took in. You sent you some pictures and stuff like that, and I figured, you know, yeah, let's just take and share this with the people and everything, and you know, some of the other stuff that we pick up.
Absolutely. So, well, I'll just go and I'll show one item, and I'm just going to go big the first time. Like my first item is going to be the biggest one. So this is, I'm going to call it a Grail find. And this is a Grail canvas shoe vintage find. This is Lacrosse by Bart Starr. And
awesome.
These comp for big money. They are vintage. They're made in the USA. And I don't know if anybody has heard of the brand Lacrosse, but so these shoes right now, there was only one on eBay that comped at an auction for $119. And I'm probably going to be asking in the $159 range. And I got them for $2.99.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
so you're starting to get into shoes a little bit then, Shane?
You know, I've always known a little bit about them, but I've never picked a lot up. And the reason is because I can never find good shoes that are in good condition. These soles are super clean. I mean, they're almost never worn.
Wow.
So the shoes I find usually around here are trashed and they're garbage. And I mean, I sent, you know, you that picture last night of those Polo Sport shoes I found, and they were just trashed.
Yeah, they were some awesome shoes, but yeah, like you said, they were smoked.
Yeah, and so that's my problem really in my area is I can't find good shoes. And there's been a couple, like I flipped some Sperry's, like some older Sperry's. They're all leather, and I cleaned them up, and I got leather conditioner and flipped them. I got them for like $2.99 and flipped them for like $36. But I just don't do a lot. And plus, you know, when I first started out, a lot of my mistakes were in shoes, and it's just kind of been an area where I've kind of stayed away from for a little bit. Yeah,
shoes is definitely an area that I'm slowly starting to get into a little more. There's some pretty good money in it, but man, you know, like you said, you know, I mean, you're a couple hours away from me. I mean, you know, we don't thrift the same area, but we have pretty much, you know, the same, you know, type of stuff. Yeah, man, it's hard to find shoes that are, you know, a decent price and stuff like that aren't trash. And, you know, like, especially like in the local thrifts, my God, they're they're crazy priced. I mean, if they're in good shape and condition, you might as well figure half retail. I mean, that's I stopped at the Salvation Army yesterday and I found a really nice pair of like Cole Haans, and they were kind of like a dock shoe. They weren't a boat shoe, but it was like a dock shoe, you know, kind of a cross between like a tennis shoe, that sort of thing. Just real casual shoe. It had $39.99 on them. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, they were great shoes, but it's like, you know, there's just, you know, even at half off, you know, I mean, when those shoes go to half off, you still can't pick those up for $20 and really make anything decent off of them.
Exactly. And that's, you know, shoes are huge, but, you know, like you said, like it's just the Midwest. I don't know if it's just my area. I know it has to be yours a little too, but it's so hard to find good used shoes. So I'll do a couple more items, and then
No, I'll show a couple more.
I'll let you do a few items, and we'll just kind of switch back and forth.
All right. Yeah, while you're digging those out, I'm gonna give a couple shout outs here real quick. Looks like we got On the Roads again. Has popped in the chat. Our friend Tanya Thrifty Treasures is here. Looks like Lonnie is here. Hopefully his fantasy team's just getting crushed this week because he's been talking so much smack lately in our in our fantasy football league. I know my team is just absolutely terrible. I wish I could import the team that I have in my other fantasy league. I'm undefeated in that league, but man, I'm just getting tore up in the one that we're in, our Reseller 6-pack league. God, my team is so weak, it is not even funny.
Right. And I'm wondering if when Lonnie plays John again, if there's going to be another takeover or who's taking whose channel over.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think, gosh, poor Dwayne actually gave Lonnie control, I think, of his channel for the next live auction show. I don't think Dwayne was paying attention to what Lonnie did to John's channel. So, you know, he might want to rethink that one.
I'm sure it's going to be pretty great.
Oh my God, yeah, it'll be good.
So this next item I got is I mean, you could call it vintage. Like when you look at the term of vintage, it's like from the year 2003 or whatever and below. So this is it's a Pearl Jam Riot Act concert tee.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. I think it's from like 2001, 2002. I can't remember the exact date on this. I think that'll sell for around, on the low end, $39.99.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're
looking at the high end of like maybe $50.
Were there any comparables to that on eBay as far as solds or anything like that?
So there was one that was a little different than that one. It was the same concert, and it was $39.99. But it had a little bit different of graphic. But for some reason, there's a ton of actives for like $50 and $60 and around the $39.99 range. Yeah.
Right. Awesome.
So I usually price my stuff a little lower. And then I'll do one more item and then we'll switch off, Andy.
Yeah, awesome.
So I got this vintage Champion pullover hoodie at the thrift, and it's in really, really good condition. And it is a true vintage Champion. I'm guessing it's going to bring in probably a minimum of $20. And it's just a size XL. Nothing super special, but
is that the reverse weave? Does it have like reverse weave on the tag?
No, it's not a reverse weave. No, it's just a pullover.
Those are a little more sought after, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And any kind of like, for some reason, vintage Champion is usually pretty big for some reason. And if it's in good condition, I mean, I think you probably for each piece at least $20. I mean, and that's on the minimum, maybe a little less, but it's going to be around that range.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. I guess I'll show a couple of the items I picked up here this weekend. You know, the wife, she wanted to go to Hobby Lobby, and y'all know how much I despise Hobby Lobby. So, you know, the nearest one to me is about 45 minutes away. So I was like, you know what, I might as well take advantage of some, do a little thrifting while we're gone. So if she's going to make me sit outside the Hobby Lobby, I'm going to make her sit outside a Salvation Army and maybe a Goodwill for a few minutes. So, anyway, yesterday I picked up a couple items. This is one of the items I grabbed. This is a brand I think I've only found probably 3 times. Just not real prevalent in my area. But this brand here, if you can see the tag, but it's called Kuhl, Kuhl. It's a really good brand. I've only had 2 of these. I found a men's one and a women's one in a women's shirt. Just a really nice polo shirt. I mean, this one's wrinkly, so I got to definitely put her through the steamer. But just kind of plain, and this was like a half price shirt, so that was a great deal. But one thing with the cool on the tag, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's kind of like that little mountain right there inside the shield. On the women's cool shirts, there's actually a heart inside that shield. So it's really easy to differentiate, you know, especially if you're picking up a polo shirt. Sometimes, you know, maybe it's not overly fitted or whatever. You're like, man, I don't know if this is a woman's shirt or a guy's shirt. On the cool brand, it's real easy because, like I said, the women's will have a little heart inside and the guys always have a mountain. So, yeah, Cool's a really good brand to look out for. So I was pretty happy to find this. It's probably be a $24 shirt. So not too bad there. You know, I've picked up a lot of bread and butter stuff. I did get a lot of Harley stuff, so I'll definitely jump into that. Man, I got lucky. I haven't found a lot of Harley stuff lately, but, you know, I found this really nice. Just, you know, it's that time of year. Just really nice, just Ralph Lauren. Quarter zip pullover, extra large, just a basic pullover. You know, I don't usually grab these very often, but, you know, once wintertime comes, you know, I'll pick them up just because they move. These are, you know, between 25 and 29 bucks, and they're heavy. You can get them jammed into a padded flat rate envelope and stuff like that. So, you know, that's not too bad. What else I got floating around in here? Here's another.
Andy, you know that that Harley, that really awesome Harley rugby I sent you a picture of?
Yeah.
Dude, I left that. Are
you serious? What was wrong with it?
I'm gonna go back and try to get it probably tomorrow.
Oh my God, that's $40.
I already left because I'm like super, and you know me, like I'm very kind of like I don't know, super. I can't pull the trigger on Harley stuff as quick as what most people can, just because some of the T-shirts I've had just haven't sold that well.
Yeah, T-shirts. You gotta be careful with T-shirts.
Right, and that's why, like, at first I was not careful with T-shirts, and I was like, "Oh, Harley, it's gonna sell, and it did."
Yeah.
But I left it, and I'm like, man, and I'm gonna try to go back tomorrow. But she wanted like $10 for it at a local thrift store, so I'm gonna see if they have it.
Yeah, especially as long as it's an extra large or bigger, and anything other than a T-shirt, grab it. Those always sell. Most anything, like I said, in the other than T-shirt line, extra large and bigger, you're a minimum of $30. You know, on up. It just depends on how much detail and stuff like that. But T-shirts, you gotta be careful. I did pick up a couple T-shirts yesterday. One of them's a really good T-shirt. I did send you a picture of that one, just so you kind of. You know, when we were kind of going back and forth a little bit, but and then I did get a couple other ones, but they were super cheap, so they were worth me to pick, you know, for me to pick up. But normally I wouldn't have normally picked those up. Here's another really good shirt I got yesterday. Yellow tags at the Salvation Army yesterday were half off, so I got this for like $2. This here's a really good brand. It's a really nice shirt, just nice long sleeve dress shirt. It's got the contrast cuffs. And check out the back of this thing. It's all nice and nice and embroidered on the back. This here's English Laundry. This is probably a brand you haven't seen me talk about a whole lot. It's just one I don't really run across or find much. But that's what the tag looks like. It's got kind of like a British tag on it, or British flag on there, or whatever. Cool. Yeah. So this is extra large. Yeah, just really cool shirt. These are kind of like. They're on the lines of, kind of like the Robert Grahams and stuff like that, but obviously not near as high end. It's just, like I said, it has the contrast flip cuffs. They're just real detailed shirts and stuff like that. So this was a really good find for, for $2 yesterday. That's why I picked that one up. Hey, Glenn's here. How you doing, Glenn? Glenn said he's at Cabela's. Awesome. Anyone else pop in the chat? Tanya said, "Oh my God, I love Hobby Lobby." Yeah, Tanya, I'm telling you what. Ask Lonnie. I think I've made a couple of videos before where I've just been sitting in my truck, and he's just like, "You know what? I think Amy's sitting outside Hobby Lobby," and I'll flash my camera over to him. I do, man. I hate Hobby Lobby. It's not really anything against the store. It's just, oh my God, my wife loves the craft, and she will sit in there for hours. So it's just like, I can't get her out of there. I mean, it's literally like worse than getting me out of the thrift store. So, I mean, it's, she's going to make me go there. I'm making her go sit outside the thrift. So, but actually yesterday, she did go inside with me yesterday. I don't know if she found anything. I can't remember if she found me anything or not. Sometimes she'll find stuff. Usually otherwise she'll find stuff for her or one of the grandkids, and then that starts costing me. But
Oh yeah.
you know how that goes. Yeah, go ahead, Shane, if you get a couple more.
All right, so I mentioned that, or I seen in the chat someone mentioned Polo Ralph Lauren, how they like sourcing it, and so I got a couple pieces that let me try to find that and see who said that. It was let's see, On the Roads Again mentioned that Ralph Lauren still sells, and indeed Ralph Lauren does still sell, but the vintage Ralph Lauren sells like crazy, which I came across this would have been yesterday or the day before, and it is a polo Ralph Lauren vintage rugby polo, and these
nice.
sell like crazy. I sold a collar block one before a while back ago for $59.99 in 4 hours. I'm assuming this will probably sell, probably very similar to that. So it's a super good piece. All the vintage polo rugby t-shirts are super good. And then I got this is a newer shirt, and it's a polo Ralph Lauren, has Ralph Lauren down the sleeve. And it's
nice.
an actual newer shirt. It's not really vintage. These kind of shirts with the big ponies sell fairly good. I mean,
yeah, they sell really well.
And I just kind of picked this up because I thought it looked cool, but it's actually a Chaps polo Ralph Lauren vintage piece.
Oh, okay.
And it has the big flag on it, and I'm guessing this will probably go around if I had to guess, I didn't look up comps on it, I would say around the $16 to maybe $20 range.
That's not bad. Yeah, On the Roads Again was saying in the chat that they do really well with Ralph Lauren. They're a really good bread and butter item. You just gotta be picky. I mean, I don't pick everything up like I used to. Oh my God, I can remember back in the day, anything I saw that had Ralph Lauren, I used to scoop up. Now it's amazing the amount of those items that I leave. Unless I'm getting them for $1 or something like that. But yeah, typically I sell 3 to 5. They said they sell 3 to 5 pretty much a week in that $20 to $25 range. Yeah. It's just a great bread and butter item, and there's a crap ton of them out there, and that's why, me personally, I tend to be a little more picky, but yeah, like the ones you found, those are both, I would have scooped them up in a minute.
Yeah. And that's with me too, Andy. Like if I went to a thrift store, I could probably find 20 pieces of Ralph Lauren, not vintage, just regular button up, button front shirts, probably in like 2 days. It's crazy. Around here, there's so much polo Ralph Lauren at the thrift stores.
Yeah,
you can pick it up any day of the week, pretty much that you want.
Yeah, they're pretty much everywhere for sure. All right, let's see what else I got here. So, here I'll do a couple more of my regular shirts that I grabbed, and then I'll get into some of my Harley stuff. I got a bunch of good Harley stuff. Yeah, so we were just talking about the polo Ralph Lauren. At that same Salvation Army I stopped at yesterday, blue tags were 75% off. So I grabbed this one. This is a double extra large, just regular shirt. But this is something that I would have normally probably would have depended on where I'm at inventory wise, because this was a $4 shirt. I got it for 75% off, so the shirt only cost me $1. And it's double extra large, and I think this is just a regular classic fit. I tend to prefer to pick up the Blakes whenever I see those, or anything in the 2X talls. Pretty much anymore, trying to really stick with double extra large and bigger. I still pick up extra large, but yeah, I can't move a medium to save my soul. But so anyway, I scooped that up yesterday for $1. So that was a really good find for $1. That'll go for. I'll probably list that for $29, and I'll take anywhere between probably 24 and 27. This here's a nice brand, really nice shirt I picked up too yesterday, and this was yellow, so it was half. This was $3.99, so I paid $2 for this. This here, there's a tag. I don't know how you can see this, but this is Thomas Dean. Really cool shirt. This is along the lines of those, like the Robert Grahams or like that English Laundry. Just really nice shirt. It's got the contrast collars, contrast cuffs, and stuff like that. These shirts do pretty decent. This one's a large, so it's probably not going to do as well if it was like an extra large or double extra large, but it is a really, really good color. So, for $2, I was all about jumping on this. So, you know, I like the stuff that, you know, catches your eye, that pops out and what have you.
I do like that color, Andy. That's a nice
color.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just, like I said, it's just one of those things that, you know, I mean, I'll scoop it up if it catches my eye. I know that when I put it in the listing, it's gonna catch a potential buyer's eye. You know, they're just gonna see it. So, and then I picked up one pair of jeans yesterday. I don't do a lot of jeans, but every once in a while, if I can find jeans for a decent price, you know, just grab these just regular Tommy Bahama. But these are boot cut jeans. You know, nothing exciting. I did pay up for them a little bit, but you know, they're just the nice, relaxed fit jeans. You know, so these do pretty decent. They got, you know, some fading and stuff on the front. So, or, you know, so I think they'll do pretty well. And I think they're like a 36. No, 36-30. So, you know, not a crazy size or anything like that, but still a decent, you know, 36 waist. That's pretty much when I'm picking up jeans. That's about where I like to be as far as waist sizes, 36 and above. You know, you start getting in them little smaller sizes, they're just a little harder to sell. You know, just like with everything, the bigger sizes always do better.
Yeah, they're a little longer tail, I think, unless you're like at the bins and you can pick them up for like a buck or something.
Yeah. I mean, I paid $5 for those. That's usually a little bit more than I like to pay. I typically don't ever like to pay more than $3 for a pair of jeans, unless it's a pair of jeans I know I'm going to get $30 out of. So, you know, it's just kind of, you know, one of those. But what else you got, Shane?
All right, so, and keep in mind, so this is stuff I sourced, I believe it's been this week, but primarily the last 3 days. So I got another polo Ralph Lauren. It's a custom fit, has a number right here. It's another big pony.
Nice.
On the chest, which sells super good. It's a custom fit large. I usually, in polo Ralph Lauren, I can sell custom fit larges and mediums like crazy.
Right.
But also the bigger sizes sell super good, like the 2X tall, 2XBs or whatever.
Right. Now, where do you price those at typically?
It just depends, really. So on like just once in a while, if I can get a regular T-shirt just with the regular label and it's just a normal, not vintage polo T-shirt, you know, I will price those in the $12.99 to $13.99 range. I come in a little cheaper than almost anybody on eBay.
Oh my God! Next time you put them up for sale, let me know, man.
yeah. I know, right? And I will move them quick. Now the bigger sizes, I'll do about $15.99 on.
Oh my gosh.
Just regular T-shirts, and that's if I can get them cheap enough. So if I can't get them, because a lot of times my Goodwills will have polo Ralph Lauren on half off because they don't sell, and there are just tons of them there. So depending on, but the big ponies, like anything with a big pony or anything that's vintage, I'm probably 50 and up, I would say, more than likely. So now we got this this vintage starter Mark McGwire T-shirt, and this is for his 62nd home run.
Oh, cool!
Pretty cool T-shirt, and it's the starter brand.
Nice.
And I paid, I think it was, let's see here, I paid $3.99 for that, it's definitely worth it. This one I paid $3.99 for, and it is the coolest shirt I've ever seen ever. And it's a vintage Kobe Bryant T-shirt, and it's actually made by Slam, and I think they had like a Slam magazine, and he's holding a snake. And it's really cool. I think it'll sell probably around $30 range, I would say. And then I usually don't pick this brand up because sometimes they don't sell, but this is a very unique item, and it's Pendleton. And this is a vintage Pendleton Western sweater. And it is like a knit type sweater, and it's super cool.
Oh, yeah, that'll do well.
Very good.
Yeah, is that wool?
You know, I didn't look on it when I bought it, but I'm assuming it probably is. I have to find the actual tag.
Usually just say right. Usually it says right on the tag. It'll say, you know, 100% wool.
There we go. It's actually 100% cotton. Not wool.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. And
yeah, it might not do as well, but man, if that was wool, that'd be fire, dude. That like a southwesterny pattern does amazing on Pendleton. I actually found a Pendleton blanket, a big wool blanket. It was in a box. I bought it at a consignment shop, and I actually paid up. I think I paid like $15 for this blanket, but I think I sold it for like 75, 80. It was all wool, but it had that Southwest pattern. When I happened to do some comps on it and stuff, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe what these blankets are going for. But, especially with this time of year and what have you. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good find.
And I will say that Ralph Lauren has polos that are a Southwestern pattern and they're vintage and they sell for huge money.
Really?
I mean, huge money. I looked up some comps on some because I had found a chaps by Ralph Lauren in the Western, and it wasn't comping very good, like $20. But as I was doing some of that research, some of I believe it was just regular polo by Ralph Lauren. Some of them were like, I think like $300-$400.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
On the Western, and it was, I believe, a wool as well, but I'm not 100% on that.
I know the Western stuff is actually pretty desirable, and especially if you can find like the Ralph Lauren double R. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
I've heard of them, but never ever.
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, I've run across a couple pairs of pants. I haven't seen any other double R items, like shirts or jackets, like a jean coat or anything like that. But yeah, I do know that those do really, really well.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Show you a couple of the other items I scooped up yesterday. So this was probably one of my favorite items I grabbed yesterday. I paid up for this, but I knew this was just, I love this thing. I sent you a picture of this because it's awesome. It's double extra large. I got scooped out so you can see this, but it's just this really nice Harley quarter zip pullover. But check this out. On the back, it's just got this crazy graphic. This is just awesome. So, I mean, and like I said, it's double extra large. It's just super, super nice. See, we got, embroidered on collar. This thing's got a lot going on. I've actually already got this baby up and listed. Actually, some of its clothes, I think almost all the Harley stuff I picked up yesterday, I've already got up and listed. And I think I have this fleece here listed like $59. So
that'll sell pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have any issue getting rid of that. Oh yeah, it's even got it's got the Harley. It says motorcycles on the one sleeve. It's got Harley, on the other sleeve. I mean, this thing's got so much going on for it. And like I said, with it being a big size and all that, I mean, this thing is just ridiculous.
Yep. Oh
my gosh, it's Frosty. Hey, I gotta give a special shout out to the guy, to somebody in the chat. The Frosty Picker. His name is Richard. He's from Wisconsin. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Richard actually sent me, and I want to thank you personally since you're in here. And I don't know if you've seen my other video and stuff, but thank you for sending me the Margaritaville mug. Man, I appreciated that so much, and the nice letter that you sent me. Man, dude, that meant so much. You have no idea, man. And I do. I use that mug all the time. God, I get that stuff. Just it kind of choked me up that somebody actually appreciated what we're doing and all this and that. I mean, it definitely keeps me motivated. So, man, Richard, man, thank you so much for that. I appreciated that thing so much, and I appreciated your kind words and everything else, man. That was really, really awesome. It's kind of a humbling experience, I guess. So, yeah, man, thank you so much,
Richard. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this was Richard. How long ago did you send that to me? I mean, it's been several months ago, and I mean, it was when I was pretty much I was kind of just getting started on YouTube and stuff like that. It was really weird. I went to the mailbox one day, and you know how it is as sellers and stuff. We always got stuff coming and going, or you got a return coming back. And I went to my mailbox, and I seen this box sitting there, and I was like, man, what the heck did I order? I'm like, I didn't order anything. And I go, I don't have any returns coming. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I open it. So anyway, I take and I open it up, and here's this awesome, Jimmy Buffett Margaritaville, coffee mug in there. And then the coolest thing about it was, it was like one of them like 3D type mugs and what have you. This was all, and it was a mug I actually didn't even have. So that made it even cooler. You know, I mean, you know, just for somebody to just out of the blue, you know, I guess it was kind of creepy, but I don't know how he found my address, but you know what I mean? So apparently my address is out there, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. Richard says, yeah, it was about 6 or 7 months ago. So that he had just started selling. So that's awesome, Richard.
That's
man.
Pretty good detective work, Andy.
Yeah, it kind of scares me a little bit, you know, all of a sudden have somebody show up at my house. But you know, if it's Richard, you know, I mean, hey, I'm cool with that, man, you know. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I got that. Man, this is, like I said, this is probably the first I've seen you in one of the chats or around, Richard. You know, I was kind of hoping maybe you put a comment on something or what have you. So, man, definitely, buddy, man, I so appreciated that. That meant more than you could ever imagine, man. All right, enough about all that before I start getting all sappy. Then I found this baby. This thing here was probably another one of my awesome favorite finds yesterday. I found this just a really cool big Harley 3X. It's got the V-twin kind of logo, some patchwork on it and stuff like that. Just a big ass sweatshirt. Like I said, this is a 3X. Just a lot of detail. You know, little patch there on the back collar. This thing's awesome. I think I have this listed. This thing's already up and listed. I think I've got it up for around 40 or 50 bucks, plus some shipping. All this heavy stuff. I usually always charge, you know, yeah, I always charge shipping and stuff like that. So, but oh man, let's see what
Andy,
else.
that's awesome. Richard said he bought 2 ties from you just to get your address.
Oh man, see, isn't that crazy?
But that's totally awesome, though. I mean, I never would have even thought about doing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
okay.
That's pretty.
I hope you enjoyed the ties,
smart.
Richard. Oh wow, that's. I wouldn't even see. I didn't even think of that. I just figured you probably just did some crazy, you know, Google search and what have you. And, you know, I'm trying to think of all kinds of stuff. I was like, man, I go, where did this guy find my address? I mean, I know it's not difficult, you know what I mean, if you really want to. But I was like, oh man, I go, that's funny. Oh, okay, that's cool. So you actually bought a couple ties off of me, man. I hope you enjoyed those ties. Oh,
well, that's
man.
awesome. I got a few more items here. I got a Harley item. A Harley T-shirt I picked up with like the Roadrunner and
cool, with that foghorn leghorn on it.
Yeah, it's like the Roadrunner. In the back it has Taz and Yosemite Sam, and it's a pretty cool T-shirt. I think it'll sell well, but it is a smaller size. It's a small, so it might be a little longer tail, but it'll sell eventually. I mean, it's eBay. Everything sells, right? And then I picked up an Oakley T-shirt, new with tags, from Goodwill, and tag looks really good. Be like $20, maybe, you know, around there. Very, very bread and butter item. Yep.
Yeah, actually.
What's that, Andy?
Oh, so yeah, I actually picked up an Oakley T-shirt myself this week. You know, I don't do it a lot, but it was a double extra large. It was super crisp, and then I grabbed an Oakley hat this week too. I got for like $1. You know, it's
that
just
hat looked super awesome.
Yeah, it's. I think I've got watchers on it already. I've already got it up and listed. I think there's already some watchers. It's a pretty common style, so it's like they still make that hat. So I think that hat's still pretty relatively new. But, you know, and I listed a little on the higher end. You know, pretty much most of my hats, I don't list hardly any hat under $20. It's just how I list them. You know, I mean, I don't mind setting on them for a little bit, but I figure, you know, if I'm going to buy a hat, I'm not going to buy it and then list it for $10 and then pay shipping on it. It just, that doesn't make sense for me to pick up something. So if I pick it up, it better be something that I can, on a kind of the absolute lowest end, I'm going to make $15 on, you know what I mean? But yeah, for the most part, I want to list a hat at least 20 plus.
Right. And I mean, still, you know, at the price you paid for it, $15 is still good. But I mean, I always want to get the maximum amount for my dollar just because those are sales and you may not find another good item like that for a while. I got a couple vintage button up Tommy Hilfiger.
Nice. Little Tommy for your mommy?
Yeah, little Tommy for your mommy. Just awesome. With the little crest shaped logos here. Super cool. Awesome. I always try to pick up some Tommy because I like Tommy Hilfiger. I like selling it. I have one Tommy Hilfiger shirt I have in my store that I have listed up now for $62.
Holy
It's just
cow.
a t-shirt.
Wow.
And it's a pretty rare t-shirt too. So
Awesome.
And then my last item is a Green Day Minority 2001 concert tee. It does not have the dates on the back, but a lot of these concert t-shirts were printed with no dates on the back. And some of them were just sold in the parking lot. So, and honestly, like those aren't like as sought after, the parking lot shirts, but they still sell good, especially the vintage ones. So sometimes just as good as the other ones.
Right. So that one doesn't have a date on it at all?
No, and sometimes in the concerts they will sell shirts without dates. It's pretty common. It does have a date on it, and it's a 2001, and it's actually licensed by Green Day. But it's not, it don't have any concert dates on the back, but that's pretty common with especially like your punk rock bands. A lot of them don't have dates on the back because they just sell their logo and the tour it's from. So this was from like the Minority tour or whatever.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. All right. We'll jump back in more of my Harley stuff. I did get quite a few Harley things this week. So, which is, I mean, I think I've only got about 15, maybe 20 items that I grabbed, but yeah, I got a good majority of Harley stuff. Yeah. Who's somebody in the chat says, oh, is on the roads again, says, yeah, it says Andy finds the best Harley stuff. I do get pretty lucky on the Harley stuff. You know, and it's funny when you watch different YouTubers and this and that, everybody has something in their area that they find that people in other areas just can't. You know what I mean? It's, I watch different guys, I mean, all day long they can pick up, we'll just say, an Orvis shirt, or in their area, like Nike stuff is like, what I mean? But there's one gal that's, she comments on my stuff quite a bit that lives around Oregon. So she finds all kinds of Nike stuff, Nike sporting goods, but that's where the Nike, main Nike headquarters is at, so just, everybody's geographic location and what have you, I mean, you can find, different stuff. I just happen to get lucky. I mean, I don't live overly too far from Milwaukee. I mean, probably, I think I'm about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours away from Milwaukee. So not too overly far, but, yeah, I'm just in an area where, yeah, I mean, I get lucky and I do find some Harley stuff on occasion. It's just hard to find it for a good price because, everybody looks for the Harley stuff. Me personally, I try to find anything other than the t-shirts unless it's a specific type of t-shirt. That's what, I go after. Like those, like that quarter zip, that thing's really good. The 3X sweatshirt, that thing will do really well. Then I grabbed this. It's just a really nice Harley polo shirt. But I think this is an extra large tall. No, there's 2XL. So there's just really nice, but it's pretty plain. So it's just kind of a dressy shirt. You know what I mean? And then all it has on it, it's got the Harley, the buttons are detailed, and it's just got on the pocket, just got this little teeny just metal bar and shield on the corner of the pocket. And then just below the collar, there's just a little Harley tab. So this one isn't like overly, we'll just say gaudy. It's not all out there. So, it's something, you can wear just kind of casually or what have you. But, and I think I have this shirt, or this shirt's already up and listed for about $40. So
I like that piece though, Andy. It's a nice piece.
Yeah. I mean, it's really decent. And on a shirt like this, I don't mind paying up for a little bit for a shirt like that because I know about where I'm going to be able to sell that at.
See, down south a little bit, because I live a little south from you.
Right.
Man, I can find Harley t-shirts all day long, but it's the stuff like the pullovers and the big thick hoodies that sell really good. I can never find. Yeah, they're
hard. They're a lot harder to find. But when you do, find them, yeah, man, it's getting them for a good price and then being able to scoop them up, But yeah, most all that sort of stuff. I mean, pretty much, it's always at least a $40 bill, if not more, depending on what it is. These are something else I really love to find. I don't find a lot of these, but I love scooping these up. Just a really nice Harley button front shirts, but this is like a Hawaiian camp shirt, or whatever. So these shirts here do really well. And this one here, what makes this one even better, I don't know how well you guys probably be able to see that, but this is extra large tall. So super rare. You don't find a lot of talls in the Harley stuff. I think any tall item I've ever had in Harley is usually gone within just a matter of days of getting it listed. This one I don't have up yet, but Bad thing is we're just kind of coming out of summer, so I don't know. I may sit on this one a little bit longer than normal, but you know, I mean, if this was, you know, probably June, the shirt would be, this is $45-50 shirt if this was June. So you know, I mean, I might get $39 out of that. So you know, not a bad find there. What else you got, Shane? I got a few more items left.
I got a couple more items left. This I just thought was a really cool shirt, and I picked it up for half off, and it is it's Majera Ink, and it's a tattoo shop in Niagara Falls, Canada, and I just thought it was a super cool shirt.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Now, I got it half off, so it's probably not gonna. That's gonna be more like your bread and butter item. It's not gonna sell like some of the vintage clothing. It's not gonna sell for a super high price. But if you list it for around $13.99, maybe $14.99, you'll get a bite on it.
Yeah, it's pretty bright. Is it pretty bright colored and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's super bright colored. It has like the old school like artwork on the front.
Oh yeah, and, awesome.
And the flowers, and it's just overall it's a really cool T-shirt. Yeah. I usually don't pick up items that are like that, but I just thought it was super cool.
Yeah, it's definitely not an item I typically would pick up, but yeah, it's just one of those things you never know.
And then this is a vintage long sleeve Adidas T-shirt, or not T-shirt, but it's a long sleeve Adidas shirt, and it's like just like a T-shirt. And this is actually has like German writing on it, and Adidas made a line of clothing that has like German running, and it says with the 3 stripes, and then it has like 3 Streifen the brand, and they made some T-shirts like this. I've never really came across any. It's not going to sell for super high prices, but it's going to be probably around the $20 range.
Awesome.
And then we got a 2004 AC/DC Back in Black long sleeve shirt. Awesome. And it's 2004. This, is not going to be from a concert. This is the brand Aces and Eights, but they still sell fairly good. And this literally is all it has on it. But once in a while, I'll pick up these if they are on the borderline of vintage, because they still sell really well. And Aces and Eights was like a brand back in like the late 90s and early 2000s that made all these like reproduction band T-shirts.
Oh, okay.
So I mean,
I don't think I've even heard of that, but it's kind of one of them things that you don't really pay attention to it until you run across it.
And then, well, there's also some other companies like it's called Liquid something. I can't remember what it is, and they made a bunch of like
Liquid Blue or something like that.
Yes, and I actually sold a Kiss glow in the dark T-shirt.
Shut up!
Awesome. Liquid Blue, and it was like in the 30s range. I mean, it was.
Oh my god! It's too bad you didn't get a picture of that with the glow in the dark. I bet you could have got 50, 60 out of that really easy.
Right, and I didn't even think about it at the time because I listed it up, and then I was doing some extra research because I'm like, I'm just kind of curious. I've never seen it, and found out later it was glow in the dark. I'm like, that's super insane.
Yeah. See,
and then I picked up any kind of wrestling stuff. I usually pick up vintage or not, like WWE, WWF, and this is the New Day. He's a wrestler. It's like a unicorn. I think like it's farting rainbows out of its butt or something. And
awesome.
Believe it or not, it's in almost like new condition. And it usually, this exact one, it'll comp anywhere from $16.99 to about $22.
Wow.
So it'll probably be 20s range again. I pick up a lot of stuff that's 20s range.
Yeah. I usually only look for like on the wrestling stuff if it's just the WWF stuff. I typically stay away from the WWE stuff, but if it's and that goes for pretty much anything WWF. Man, if it has a WWF logo on it, that's usually something. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll usually make sure that I at least check it, or whether it's a toy or whether it's a whatever it is, because those things always tend to go for some pretty decent money.
Oh yeah, I sold a Jeff Hardy T-shirt It was a vintage one for like $50. I mean, they sell well, and that's the thing is you just got to look for those because some of them may not even say WWF on them, which is crazy. Like some of them that are vintage will just have it on there, but also the ones I've seen are like the WCW vintage T-shirts. They sell for crazy money, and they'll have like the Macho Man on there or like whatever. And then I picked up like a SummerSlam T-shirt. These sell usually pretty well. Some of them are lower in like 14, 15 range, but if I get them half off, I'll pick them up. That's the thing.
Yeah, really. Yeah, especially if you get 50 cents a buck or whatever. Holy cow! Did you see Brian, the Oak Brook Picker's comment in here? He says that the Dragonfly button front camp shirts are great. He goes, I got $100 for an Iron Maiden one. I'm definitely.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna definitely have to look those up. Shane, I don't know how well you know Brian the Oak Brook Picker or not, but man, check out his Instagram. Brian finds he lives not far from us. But he lives up around Oak Brook, so he's in the rich part of Illinois, where all the
Oak Brook. I've actually picked an Oak Brook before, and their savers up there are freaking insane.
Yeah, you can't buy anything in there though, man. They're expensive as heck unless you go on like a half off day.
One thing.
Yeah, and there used to be one in Aurora, which is about 60, 70 minutes, about an hour and 10 minutes for me, and that one closed. And I used to always go whenever, like tomorrow, Monday would normally be like a half off day. Anytime there was a holiday, there was always a half off day. I would always make a special trip up there, and it was great because I'm off on Mondays. So I would dart up there, I could make a killing, doing that. But now that the Aurora one's gone, shit, it's way in there for me to get to the next one. And so usually it's just not even worth my time. I just leave all that stuff for Brian, man. He finds some gold, dude. Check out his Instagram, dude. If you're not subscribed to Brian, man,
I'll check it out for sure.
Definitely, he finds some awesome stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had an Instagram. I've seen him in the chats and stuff and talked to him here.
Yeah, Brian finds some amazing stuff.
I'll be honest with you. I went to a Savers last year in Oak Brook, and I only bought one thing, and it was a Webkins signature series Iberian Lynx, and I sold that thing for $98.
That's the endangered ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those sell for huge money for plush, and I sold it for like $97, $98, and that was with no code on it at all, no tag at all. And I paid like $3.99.
It's funny. I think you and I were talking about this before, and now it's funny because like anytime I walk by the plush, but I usually don't spend a lot of time. If something jumps out at me or I see something with a tag, I'll look at it. But now I actually kind of look. Like if I see a Webkin sitting there, I actually will look to see if it is like one of the endangered ones or whatever, because I know now, from talking with you and what have you, that they're definitely a nice little bolo to look out for sure.
And now they're selling for a little lower, some of them, just because the market became flooded.
Right.
But they're still like 50s, 60s, 70s range.
Yeah. When you're picking up for 50 cents, a dollar probably worst case scenario. It's and they're super light, so you can ship them first class.
And the thing is, the endangered Webkins are very easy to spot because they're bigger than the normal ones.
Oh, okay. That's great information.
They will all have a gold W on them.
Oh, yeah.
So the W will be
full of knowledge.
Yeah. I tried to drop a little knowledge there.
Jeez, yeah. Brian Picker was saying, look for pillow people. I just got $100 for one with
pillow people. I've never
you just had that on your Instagram, didn't you, Brian? I think I just seen that. That thing was pretty crazy. If that's what I'm thinking. They're from the 80s. Yeah, Brian finds all kinds of vintage stuff, Shane. So yeah, you'll definitely
awesome.
You definitely connect with Brian for sure, man. Like I said, he finds some great stuff. All right,
I'm gonna have to find it.
Yeah, so jump in and show you a couple more of the T-shirts that I grabbed. I think I got about maybe 4 or 5 T-shirts, and then God, I can't believe how long we've been going. I just grabbed this. This was super cheap, just a regular. This is just a basic bread and butter, just run-of-the-mill Harley shirt. I got this cheap. The only reason I picked it up was double extra large. The back graphic was nothing crazy. Like I said, I'm real picky on grabbing the Harley tees. The only reason, like I said, I grabbed this, it was double X, and it was decent. This here is the Harley tees that I really, really love to find. So ones like this right here with the pinup girl on it, or anytime you find a Harley shirt and it's got a slutty girl, a pinup girl, some girl with some flash and maybe some big accents, whatever you want to call it, man, those are the ones that do really well. I mean, this is a nice extra large, and the back graphic on this is really cool. It's from some junction, Apache Junction in Arizona, but the Harley Davidson dealership is actually called Superstition Harley Davidson. Yeah, I've never heard of this one before.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it's got this crazy like scorpion on the back, like a kind of like a metal scorpion with flames and stuff like that. I mean, the back graphic is really, really cool.
I would have picked that up in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, this shirt I have up right now for $24. This is kind of one of them exceptions to the rules as far as, most of my Harley t-shirts I always list in that $17 to $20 range. Anything with a pinup girl, I'm always going to ask a premium for because they usually sell super quick. The bigger the size, the better. This one here is in super, super good shape and condition.
Well, and just like how you've learned some stuff about the vintage concert tees from me, like all my Harley knowledge has come from you. Like I knew nothing about Harley stuff before.
Yeah, well, I was surprised because you sent me that picture yesterday, that Harley rugby, and then you said, I told you right away, I was like, dude, I go, that's a minimum $40. Then you said you left it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you left that." But
the thing is, I didn't look at my phone,
and
it started pouring down rain, and I was running to the car, and so I'm gonna go back to that same thrift store tomorrow, and I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna snatch it right up.
Yeah,
but
you'll be lucky if that's still sitting there, man. A rugby,
I hope so.
Rugby is still amazing, and in anything, for the most part, they're just hard. But man, you find a Harley rugby, I mean, man, that's gonna be some gold.
It still stings a little bit.
He's the HD guru. Yeah, it's like I said, sometimes I get lucky, man. It's hard because when I do see stuff, it's like, do I want to pick this up or not? It's like, God, can I get this cheaper? Can I get, what can I do with this? Sometimes I run into a lot of stuff, and then I'll hit a dry spell where I don't hit anything for a while. Then I did snatch this other Harley t-shirt too. I like this one. It had a vintage bike on it. The vintage bikes are really cool, but I did like this one because it was had Chicago skyline across the back. So this is from Chicago Harley Davidson, and this was 2XL also. So in the 2XLs, they always do well. Typically, I don't pick up the blacks anymore, but if I'm getting them cheap enough, they're a big size and they got something at least going for them, I'll definitely scoop them up.
I just sold a Chicago HD t-shirt.
Did you?
And it was the coolest HD t-shirt like I've seen so far, and it had a gun, and it was like smoke, and a mobster was formed by the smoke.
Oh, that'd be cool, kind of like an Al Capone or something like that on there.
Yeah, and I sold that thing for, I think it was like pretty close to $20, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. I would ask a little more. I know. Like I had a Harley Graceland T-shirt, and it had like a young Elvis on the front of it, and I think there was like a train and some other stuff. And I think for a T-shirt, I think I got like, it was real high 20s, if not maybe $30. That was one of the higher like Harley T-shirts I've got. Now I've had a couple like older vintage Harley T-shirts. If you can find the Harley 3D T-shirts, man, dude, those go for some crazy money. That's on my, like I run across a lot of stuff. That's on my bucket list or my grail.
I just sold one like 4 or 5 months ago. It had a panther on it, and it was coming out of the shirt, and it said, "You can't cage this," and it was like a '90s HD T-shirt.
What'd you get out of that?
It had a lot of issues. It had some bleach staining. I got 18 with the issues.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still, I guess, that's still not too bad. But yeah, man, those shirts, God, they go, man, minimum $50.
And it was sleeveless too.
Oh, cool, awesome. All right, what else you got, Shane? You got a couple more? I got a couple more sitting here.
I can probably dig up a couple more. Give me a second here.
It looks like we got, about 20, 22 people in the chat. So, hey, definitely want to thank everybody for stopping by, saying hi. If you guys haven't said hello yet, say hi. We love hearing from everybody, and, I'll give you a shout out and have you.
Yeah, definitely.
I know we don't do a lot of live stuff, but, every once in a while I like to go live. If you guys haven't, go ahead and subscribe to Shane at Rise and Grind Pickers channel. I will put a link to it in the description. I haven't done that yet. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Like I said, Shane and I were just kind of talking back and forth, texting one another, and he was sending me a couple things. I was sending him some pictures and stuff. We're like going, hey, you want to do this? And he was talking about doing he's like, I think I'm going to do a haul video later. And I was like, I was thinking about doing a haul video later. I go, you know what? let's just do a dual haul. I go, I think that might be kind of fun, and then we can just kind of, show our stuff. And then, I love having the chat up to where we can interact with people and stuff like that. That's definitely a lot of fun. So
this is my last item I actually have close to me, and it's just a John Cena wrestling WWE t-shirt. They don't sell for huge money, but
sure,
you can probably expect anywhere from 14 to 15, around there.
It's not too bad.
And a couple, I guess I got these two too as well. They're just, they're not vintage, they're newer. And they are, what's the band called? They are something like, I can't read the writing because it's a death metal band, but it's like Impending Doom or something like that.
Yeah. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I got a couple of those t-shirts. They're like a heavy metal bands. They're newer.
I wonder since
they sell pretty good.
Yeah, I'm wondering, since they're both from the same band, if you actually lotted those two together, are they the same size?
I think they might be the same size. Let's see here. Medium and medium. Yeah, so actually that could be a lot as well. I didn't ever think about that. So.
Oh, hey, Brian Picker just asked a question in the chat. I know what I'll answer. I'm kind of curious to see what you'd say, Shane.
Yeah.
So anyway, Brian asks, he says, what would you guys do? I rehabbed some vintage Red Wing boots, listed high at $300 and got an offer for $150 the first day listed. Would you accept it or counter offer?
Hell no, I wouldn't accept it.
Brian, let me ask you a question. What did you pay for those, if you don't mind? You can even just put us in a dollar range if you don't, feel comfortable with the exact amount.
And I mean, I guess it depends on your business model. Like, me and you, like I guess you could say part-time, even though I put in full-time hours. But
exactly.
I'm not like, I don't need the money to pay bills, so I would not accept it. And just because I had a couple concert t-shirts where, I paid $1.50 for the concert t-shirts, and they were up for like $50, and I had offers like within an hour at $30.
Wow.
And I'm like, nope.
Wow. Right. Less than it costs to have my, what is that word? Okay. Less than it costs to have my cobbler's work on them. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, me personally, they'd be gone because I have nothing into them. It's going to cost me $10, $15 tops to probably ship them, depending on, how you can get them packaged and what you get them packaged in. But yeah, you're going to have about $15. So yeah, I'm guessing Brian probably has less than, we'll just go probably high, less than $20 into these boots. So he's got $35 tops. Someone wants to give me $150 and they're out the door, gone. I'm not, because who knows how long them boots are going to sit there now. Before the next guy comes along. I'm all about, if I can make $100 that quick, you know what I'm saying? I'm all for it, man. That's just how I would do it. And I'm like you, and I know Brian's like us also. Brian has a full-time job. I have a full-time job. We all have, I think, fairly similar business models. I price my stuff a little bit higher, I think, than a lot of other people do. But, I'm kind of like you. I don't have to have the money. So I don't mind sitting on something just a little bit longer. But if somebody gives me like something like that, I'm jumping on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sometimes like,
hey everybody, it's Hot Pickles in the chat.
You got to turn your hat around backwards. You gotta get the backward hat. There you go.
I can't do it, man. I can't do that. I like Ronnie. He's a good guy.
I still want to know the answer of how long you had to practice that to get it so perfection.
Yeah, it just kind of happened. This is Friday came in late. Yeah, not sure what's going on. No, we're just on here. Ronnie, Shane and I, we were kind of talking back and forth. We were both out picking the other day and talk about doing both doing a haul video. We're like, no, hey, you know what? Let's just do a haul together. And so Shane thought that was a cool idea. We'll get in here and talk to some different people.
And I found this voodoo hat too yesterday.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Yeah, going in my personal collection, but I would think like I looked up some comps and they're anywhere from like 15 to 27. So
there you go. Yeah, there you go, Brian. Yeah, ask Ronnie what he would do with those Red Wings. What Shane would do with them. You know what I would do with them. Kind of curious what Ronnie would do with them.
And for me, I guess it just depends because I go through these spurts where I'm like, I want top dollar, and I took off best offer on a lot of my listings, and I usually get top dollar, and sometimes it's pretty quick. Awesome. But the thing is, I do have stuff that sits, and then I'll go through these things where I'm like, I'm getting rid of all my old listings, 50% off, and I'm promoting them, all of them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I do. I don't add best offer until I've had something sitting about 3 months. Mm-hmm. Then I'll put because like I was mentioning, I do tend to price stuff a little on the higher end, so I can afford to take a little bit less for it. But that also allows me to put something on sale and still keep a decent ROI. I strive for a little higher ROI. I think my average, I just crunched my numbers for last month. I'm behind. I'm way behind on doing my spreadsheet. But I think my average sale price was around $25, $26, and that's after fees and everything else. So I think that's pretty decent. I'm trying to get a little closer to the $30 range, but that's just.
And I am curious of what Ronnie would do with those because it's just a super curiosity of mine. He deals in a lot of high-end clothing.
Brian said the boots are actually from the 50s.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, well, I didn't realize they were that old. Yeah, I still even think from the 50s.
That's a tough question, man. That's a tough question.
$150 though, man. I still think, like I said, I'm just taking a guess probably about where Brian is with what he had into him. I still think he's going to do very well at taking $150 for him.
Oh, I forgot I did pick something up on an online arbitrage. On eBay, and I haven't received it yet, so obviously it's not here, so I can't show it, but it's a 1949 University of Illinois Hugh Hefner yearbook.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I paid
what year was it? 1949?
1949. Yeah, so what happened, I'll tell you the story, okay? I'll make it short and sweet. And the story is I had a guy on Facebook Marketplace near me that had one up for $25, and I told him I would buy it. And then he took it down when people started posting eBay links below mine, and he would not sell it to me. So I started scouring eBay and found a seller that had no clue what it was, and I got it for $33, and it's awesome. Getting shipped to me.
That's awesome. But the thing is, though, it's the timing of it, though. Now is by the time that you get it, do you think you're going to be able to flip it still for that top dollar?
Yeah, I think it'll still go because there wasn't very many on there. There was a couple actives, and there was only like 3 sold, and there was one for $79.99 and 2 for $149.99.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I knew there was something that when I was out yesterday that I wanted to be looking for. And like I said, I'm from Illinois as well, just like you. I was like, yeah, and I was in a college town yesterday. I was up in DeKalb. That's where fucking, oops, I can't believe I just said. But anyway, that's where the Hobby Lobby was that my wife wanted to go to. So, I stopped at a couple places there. Yeah, and that was one of the things I was wanting to look for was a yearbook, and I was hoping to find one of those. But yeah, that would have been great to find. Yeah, Ronnie was just saying on the deal with them boots that it all depends on how his day is, or even a week. He goes a slow week, I would have took it. How long I've had, you know what? And honestly, that's probably about right where I would be too. Yeah, if I'd have been having a killer week, I might have sat on them. But if it was a dead week where I really hadn't made a lot of sales, or it might have even been where it's just a slow day, sometimes you just get that one day where like you haven't sold anything and you're just dying for a sale. You don't care what it is. It's like, yeah, I probably would have took it.
Yep.
Excuse me.
And I've taken best offers where it's been super low just because I hadn't had any sales for that day. And I'm like, well, it'd be nice to have some money come in. So I'm just going to accept it. But
Richard, the Frosty Picker, says, yeah, he stopped best offers 2 months ago. All he ever got was low balls.
Yep.
Since my sales have stayed the same, but at that price I'm asking for, So for me, the best offers did not increase my sales. The thing is, though, is when you get a best offer and someone actually hits you up, Richard, and this is something, I'm not sure if you're aware of, you actually get a little push in your search rank. Every time you get an offer, you get a little push. You move farther up in the search rank for that item because it's showing interest in your item. I know some other resellers that actually did an experiment on this to show how that actually did work, and that does work. So for me, I don't mind if I get a low ball because all that guy's doing is helping me. And you know what? If it is low balling crazy, yeah, it used to kind of bother me, but now that I got in the mindset that it's actually helping me and helping that item, I don't really care. So you know what? I mean, we'll just say that I got some item up for $29, and with free shipping, the guy goes, "Hey, will you take $10 for it?" Of course, I'm not gonna take $10, but I'll tell you what, I'll do $27.99. Blah, 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 blah. And they usually will come back with, okay, well, I'll do 12. It's like, well, you know what? I'm not taking less than $20 for this item. I don't care what it is. But if he wants to hit me 3 times, he just pushed my item 3 times up that search rank. So it's going to get a lot more. It's going to get more eyes on it. It's going to get more exposure. So I really don't care. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth over $1 or 2. And you know what? Just hold firm at what you want. It takes you 2 seconds to respond to some of these people. And, I don't know how many that everybody get, but
and the thing with me is, like, I will put a best offer on some of my higher priced items, but those lower priced ones, I just price them out competitively and don't do best offer because I was just getting so many lowball offers. It was like annoying to keep up with,
Yeah, and like I said, what's items that you've had in your inventory for, you're getting in that 6-month mark. Something I actually started doing now, because I don't do this in my spreadsheets or whatever, put the when I purchased them. Now when I'm listing an item, actually in your I believe it's like the 3rd line when you're doing an eBay listing, I think it's was it custom label line. I'm actually putting my bin locations in that line, and then I'm also putting the date that I list the item on that line, and it shows up. Like when you do your sell similars, that actually shows up, so I can see when I'm getting ready to do a sell similar now how long that I've had that item listed. Yeah, I mean, so even when I do sell similar, that line still stays the same. So now it shows up. And it's also let me know now when I sell it. Okay, well, hey, I listed this on 10/5 and today's 10/8. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it only took 3 days to sell, or was it 6/5 and now today's 10/8? I mean, it's taken 4 months to sell.
Well, and I think you mentioned that in a 6-pack show, and I started copying it from you and putting my location in that custom. And man, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it's just making sure that you don't miss. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'll put my bin location in there, but I also try to put my bin locations in my main description as well. So that way, in case I screw up, I have it there. But I'm actually thinking about starting to put my bin locations in the actual item fields, where like you can add your own item field. Actually just putting one that just says location, and then I can just type in my bin location right there, because then I can find that from my phone, because the custom label doesn't show up on your phone. Like when you're in, a lot of times when I'm pulling inventory, I just have my phone. When I have similar items, sometimes it's a little harder to find where some things are. I got to go to my laptop or whatever. But Ronnie was saying in the chat, he goes, I've sat on an offer for 47 hours before, and then was like, okay, I'll take it now.
They probably even forgot they offered on the item, and they probably offered on 2 others, and then you're like, take it, done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then Brian said that he sets auto decline for all low ballers. See, and I used to do that, but like I said, I think when you do that, then you're missing that push. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not seeing those, so you're not having that interaction. It's just, I mean, not that what he's doing is wrong by any means. It's just, I think, having that interaction, you keep getting them little pushes, even though it is freaking annoying. I mean, I hate that when you have free shipping on something and someone sends you a thing for $5. Especially I know the other day I had a jacket up for $100, and I literally got an offer for $10 with free shipping. I was like, I can't even ship this jacket for $10. You're a moron.
And I think a lot of those low offers, I think a lot of them come from I know that I had this, and I'm not going to mention any eBay usernames. That's definitely not. But I had these 2 items. They were identical, and they were an Elvis item, collector's item, and I had the same person, and they literally sent me an offer every day, 3 max offers on both of them for $1.50 starting off, and went up 25 cents every offer. And that happened for 4 days, and I took best offers off all my listings.
Wow. Let's see, like if I would have had that same situation, I would have just countered it right what I was asking, or been like 50 cents less than what I was asking. It's like, if you're gonna be like that, I'm gonna be like that. It's not. This is just ignorant. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I really don't have too many issues with the low balls. I mean, you're always gonna get them, but I mean, it's it is what it is. All right. We'll jump into my last couple items here real quick, and then maybe we'll end up wrapping this up. I know my wife's got some lasagna in the oven, so can't wait to tear into some of that. And then we got the Reseller 6-pack show tonight. That's on, what, Lonnie's channel tonight? Whose channel's that on?
I think it's Lonnie's. Hold on, let me take a look and see.
Does anyone know off the top? Anyone in the chat happen to know? I believe it's on Lonnie's channel. Ronnie, are you stopping by tonight? You still in here? Help a brother out.
I know that I think a link was just posted about it just a few minutes ago. So let me take a look here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's gonna be on Lonnie's channel.
Okay. And I think what tonight's topic is tips for newbies.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Yep.
Things that we wish we would have done, would have known, that sort of stuff, right? Sometimes I still feel like I'm a newbie, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm always just learning something. You know what I mean? I think that's one thing that's awesome with doing what we do is, we're just always learning. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna jump in my last two little clothing items here real quick, and then we'll probably wrap this up. But I ended up finding this awesome LSU Tigers football shirt. This is, from Lonnie's land. But the reason I really like this shirt, not one that it's Nike, it's got the jock tag on the bottom of it, so I mean, I picked this up for, I think this was half off, so I got a really good deal on it. But it also, on the back, has the LSU football helmet on the back. College football just started, so this thing should do pretty well. Just one of those, like I said, it's not a vintage Nike, it has the Nike that's printed on the material itself, but just one of those items I think will do pretty well. Like I said, with the football season, Nike stuff always does decent. And then last but not least, this is a shirt I ended up sending Shane some info on. Like I said, I'm slowly getting into doing the vintage concert tees a little bit more. I found a couple pretty decent ones here over the last few days. But yesterday, I happened to run across this one. And this is the Smashing Pumpkins. It's a 1996 tour shirt. And it was like really, and I guess probably aren't able to see this, but right below the Smashing Pumpkins, you can it says 96 tour on it. There's no, like tour dates or tour stops on the back, but it's a nice extra large, and it's got the old Giant label. And I believe is Giant a subsidiary of Anvil, or Anvil a subsidiary of Giant? I think the two are affiliated somehow, aren't they?
I think they might be, but Giant,
or they were at one time, and then they might have.
I think they might be. I'm not 100% sure, but Giant does tons of concert tees.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And I was just like, I happened to be, like I said, I was just kind of thumbing through the racks real quick because, the wife was in the truck. So, I was trying to be quick, but still trying to be thorough at the same time. And I see the Giant tag before I even seen the Smashing Pumpkins. And I was like, oh. And so I pulled it out. And like I said, I don't know a lot about the vintage tees, but I did happen to know the vintage tag. And then I pulled up, seen the Smashing Pumpkins. I was like, okay, well, is this a repop? Is this, what is this? And, I sent a picture to Shane, and he was like, oh, dude, he goes, that's good. So I pulled it up on eBay real quick just to see if there was any comps. And this sure was going for about in that $40 to $50 range. So there was a couple solds on there. So if anyone's looking for a really nice extra large Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt, I think I have this up and listed right now for I think right around $40. So
and I thought as soon as I seen it, I didn't even have to look up the comps. I'm like, I'll pick that thing up. Billy Corgan, the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins, he actually stops by my area pretty frequently because I have a police officer. He's my friend. He's my personal friend. His brother is a ref for the WWE. He has a twin brother, and he's a ref for the WWE. So Billy Corgan, I think, is trying to buy one of the larger wrestling companies. Yeah, so he always stops by, and he had stopped by a town just 10 minutes from me a couple different times. So
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, is it like some of the members from REO Speedwagon, aren't they from down around where you guys are at?
yeah, they did. They actually they had a bar that was dedicated to REO Speedwagon down
Really?
downtown Champaign. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
downtown
Yeah. Yeah.
Champaign.
So I thought them guys were from right around where you were at.
Yep,
Awesome.
yep.
All right. All right, Shane. Well, you got anything else, bud? Anyone else got any questions or anything like that for us in the chat? If you guys, got anything, whatever, go ahead and feel free to shout them out. We'll see if we can answer them. I'm not the most knowledgeable guy out there, but I'll try and do my best to answer
Definitely.
whatever I can.
Yeah, just throw the questions in the chat. I don't have
Ronnie
anything
said he
else.
thinks he owns part of TNA.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Yep. And so my buddy, his brother is a ref, or used to be a ref for the WWE. Now he's working for another wrestling company, and he's trying to get them to go over to TNA to do to hire him. So
cool.
Yeah, on the roads again said he had a Bush shirt from Giant, and it's from '94. And Bush is a good band to pick up. Really good band.
Yeah, there's probably not like a lot of that stuff out there, I would imagine.
No, I sold a Ramones T-shirt from Giant, and it was a '90s. And I'm telling you, it was the same symbol as all the other Repop shirts, exact same. Wow. I sold it for $39.99.
Wow. Yeah, I found a really nice Sublime shirt, and I forget it was really crazy. I had all kinds of stuff going on at the but I thought it was I was hoping it was a vintage shirt, but when I got looking, well, one, it didn't have the tag. It didn't have a tag. It was actually printed on the material, so it was Repop. But actually, the comps on it were actually going for pretty decent. I was really surprised for it being basically like a Repop type of shirt, but I ended up leaving it. And I mean, if it's there, maybe when it hits a half off day or something like that, I'll grab it. But that shirt was in too good a condition. I don't think it'll be around very long.
Yep. Yeah, some of the Repops, they go pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it just really depends on the band, and really the graphics play a huge role in what they go for.
Gotcha. Awesome. All righty. All right. You got any parting words or anything like that, Shane? Because I think I'm going to get the heck out of here.
No, I think the only thing I got is just come join us on the Reseller Six-Pack tonight. So
yeah, definitely.
Come over and check it out. It's going to be on Lonnie's channel, Garage Flips. So
awesome. Alrighty, yeah, we definitely want to thank everybody for stopping out and popping in and seeing us. Looks like we've had pretty steady, about 20 people hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Definitely, we definitely appreciate that. So
it was fun, and don't forget this, everybody watching to smash that like button too. So
yeah, thanks, and I think that's gonna do it. That's your time. Thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, thumbs up. Bye, everybody.
Peace.